So I wanted you to comment on this case. This is one of those cases that tends to drive everyone crazy where the biometry just, quote, doesn't make sense in the end. So I just wanted you to look through it and kind of comment on how you sort of justify all these numbers and measurements in your mind.
Okay, so since we're going to talk about the bones, I want to look at some of the bones. And here we see the calvaria are well ossified, nice normal looking calvaria. We'll skip through much of this, and but here you have the scapula. Here's the scapular spine with the infraspinatus and the subscapularis muscle, but a beautiful scapula. The ribs are nicely ossified.
Okay.
Again, the calvaria are well formed and look perfectly normal.
Is it calvaria or calvarium?
Calvaria.
Okay.
Now, here's very important. We all measure the femur and we all look at the extremities now. But the important thing to me, that's a normal femur. Okay? Now we're coming to the biometry that drives people crazy. And what you see here is a patient whose BPD is 38 weeks, while the femur length is only 33 weeks. And there's a 5-week difference here. And so people think, oh my gosh, what's going on? Is there something wrong? So there's two possibilities. Possibility one, head's too big.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But radiologists feel, and obstetricians feel actually reasonably comfortable with the causes of big heads, which are hydrocephalus, large brain tumors, things like that. So they're not expecting that they're going to miss hydrocephalus or a large brain tumor in a fetus where they just examined the intracranial contents. So they think that's out. It's not a big head.
Right.
What it is a small femur. Okay? And they don't feel comfortable at all with skeletal dysplasia. So now the worry factor escalates logarithmically because they think, well, how do I know this is not a skeletal dysplasia? Philly rule number 1 in skeletal dysplasias: never diagnose a skeletal dysplasia if the bones look normal to you.
Okay.
Okay. So there's got to be a different explanation. Okay. Look here at the clinical age is 35 weeks.
Yes.
Let's say all these numbers were 35 weeks, but this one was 33 weeks. Would you freak out?
No.
You wouldn't freak out. That's correct. That's what you want to look at. This is only less than, it's actually, 1 week and 1 day behind the, is
clinical dates.
Yeah, 1 week and 1 day behind clinical dates, right?
Yeah.
Or is it 2 weeks and 1 day?
It's like 34 weeks. No, it's a week and a day.
A week and a day, exactly. 1 week and 1 day. So if you saw a femur 1 week and 1 day below clinical dates, if these numbers were all 35, you wouldn't even think about it. That would be normal.
Yes.
Next case.
Right.
Same thing here. Okay. The issue is frequently that when you talk to these patients, you'll find out that Uncle Fred has an 8.5 hat size, You've definitely walked into the area of pregnancy where familial biologic variation starts to show up. So parents may be short. Uncle Fred has a big head. It's not a pathologic.
So the
situation.
bottom line is what I'm hearing is, you see a big head, the intracranial contents look normal, you're happy.
Yes.
It's just a genetically large head person.
Yes.
The femur size is relatively in the vicinity of the clinical dates. It looks normal. It's just a short person with a big head.
That's correct. That's how I interpret that. And I can tell you that over the last almost 35 years or so, many cases have been referred for exactly these numeric sequences. And those cases have all turned out to be normal. That is why Philly's first rule is never diagnose a skeletal dysplasia when the bones look normal. I've never seen a skeletal dysplasia where I could honestly say, boy, those bones look perfectly normal to me.
Great. Thanks.